just the path to 2019.
Yes.
What is your strategy? You were decent new entrants in 2014. You did very well. Despite the electorate's memory of Cope, they still took a chance on a new party. And many of us as commentators, myself included, were just wrong about how well you would do. Many of us don't want to eat the humble pie and say so. Yeah. But between now, you've got literally 2 years maximum. What is your strategy in terms of building a base from which you could potentially be in power?
We must build branches. The people who failed to defeat the ANC, all the breakaways, is because they failed to build branches in all the corners of South Africa. Because if you don't have presence in Malamulelo, for instance, in Limpopo, when you talk politics, they think politics is a synonym of the ANC. So they automatically think ANC. So you ought to be present there. And then the only way of being present is by launching authentic branches, which are not just based on membership forms. They must have warm bodies, and those people must be active, attending to community issues even before they assume power. That's how people trust you, that this person can help us even when he's not in power. Imagine if we entrust some huge responsibility in some of these individuals. It is clear that we'll get a better service. Hence the EFF said this year it's a year of a branch. We are inculcating the culture of organization. We're inculcating the culture of building strong mass-based branches.
Okay. Now, that's obviously your wish list in terms of where the country might be headed under an EFF presidency and how you might get there from now until the actual 2019 election. The reality is that we probably will continue being for a while in an era of coalition politics.
Absolutely.
This is true in many countries the world over. The British are about to grapple again with that as well. Can you describe the current state of your relationship with, for example, the DA? You said some stuff about them yesterday, the way they dealt with Helen Zille, for example, that have been very colorful. And overnight, I had a look at some of the issues that listeners want me to engage you on. And it seems to me like your core supporters are divided. Some think that you are diluting your politics ideologically by even voting with them, even if it's not a textbook definition of coalition politics. Just speak to me in general about how would you characterize that relationship?
Well, we outvoted the ANC out of power in metros because the corrupt ANC with a state power becomes extremely arrogant and dangerous to our people. And we said in doing so, let's try and give an opposition some responsibility. And it's not necessarily a DA, it's a coalition led by the DA, which we are not part of. So we voted for that coalition, not only in Johannesburg, Pretoria, PE. We also did the same in KZN, voted with the IFP in the hung municipalities. We did so in Rustenburg, we did so in Free State, in Metsimaholo. So ours was to say, let's remove the ANC and put the opposition so that we reduce the arrogance of the ruling party. And it is successful. It is working. And we just have a minor, manageable problem in the Nelson Mandela between Trolip and the UDM fellow. Trolip with his white arrogance and the UDM fellow with his uncontrollable ambition for power, and has got no respect for his own organization and his own leadership. But otherwise, you go to Tshwane, we were very skeptical here in Johannesburg about Mashaba, but our people are saying to us, we're working very well in those municipalities and we don't see any major problem. Our problem is that now the DA wants to do what the ANC is doing by, egg walking around Helen Zille, even when there are clear indications that Helen Zille tweeted offensive things against South Africans.
But there's an interesting clash here between pragmatism and ideology.
Yeah.
If you're in politics, you want power so that you can hopefully do the things that the public give you a mandate to do. And sometimes that means, and not the public doesn't always understand this, but sometimes it means that we have to build alliances against our better wishes because there's a bigger enemy.
You're going to have to kiss a lot of frogs before you get the best one. And that's what is happening. It's not a strategic move. It's a tactical move towards getting to where the EFF wants to go. You reduce the ANC power because you have taken billions out of their pockets in Johannesburg, which they use to contest the EFF. And then once you take resources out of the ANC, which is the immediate challenge to the EFF, then you stand a better chance of getting more votes because you and the ANC are now competing from leveled field.
Absolutely. Now look, that makes complete tactical sense to me, Julius.
Izwela me